Okay, the trip again, we started off here in Geelong, gradually worked our way up to Mildura. From Mildura we cut across just below Mungo, headed across to Hillston, and then Lake Cargelligo, and then we headed back down to Echuca and back down to Geelong. Main street of Lake Cargelligo. Lake Cargelligo, which is on the banks of the Lachlan, was settled in 1879 and now has a population of over 1,500 people. Let's get one of these from a dam. Be handy on my dam, this. The lake at Lake Cargelligo is a natural wetland lake system. It was first discovered by the explorer Oxley in 1817. The distance, it's roughly 8 kilometres long and 3.5 kilometres wide, has an average depth of 3 metres deep. So it's very popular for boating and things. Gazinias are a low-grown herb introduced from South Africa. They've taken hold of around a lot of country towns in South Australia, Victoria and New South Wales. They're a monoxious weed now. All parts of the plant are poisonous if ingested, but they really look quite attractive around the towns around springtime. Grain silos at Lake Cargelligo. From what I can gather, the scallop concrete silo was constructed in 1964 and held just under 200,000 tonnes. These ones, so there's that. Looking into the sun now, they've got the newer one. Trucks that come and dump it there in the place on the right. It goes up the auger into the silo and eventually it comes out into the and they fill it up from the train tracks. That's what used to happen, I'd say. Very popular spot for pigeons. Go in here somewhere. New modern silos, grain holding silo. Shed, I suppose you call this one. Huge. We're staying a couple of days in this spot. Winds is terrific out on the Hay Plains. So this is south of Lake Cargelligo. Very sheltered in here. Here we are, hidden out of this strong wind. Got the solar panels facing the sun. Again, the high-tech world's just over 50%. And we're 80 to 90% from the rooftop solar. But it's nice and sheltered in here, away from that strong wind. Have these vines in this area. Look at that, they come up, strangle the tree. Some places looks like a bit of wire around it. Alice's curse. There's a good barley crop right next to this state forest we're staying in. Still a long way to go yet though. Got to dodge hailstones, fire, strong winds, frost, but hopefully gets it in. Everlasting flower. Super strong winds this morning. Came in about 2:30 last night. We're still just south of Lake Cargelligo, New South Wales, but it's nice and sheltered in amongst these pines and grey box. Another example where it just wraps around and around and strangles it like wire. Another example of where this ivy seems to just grow up, hasn't quite strangled this tree. At a place called Carethul, I think the name is. It's between Lake Cargelligo and on the road down towards Echuca. It looks like a cotton storage place. Look at it in the big round bales. Even the side of the road all along here that's covered in cotton. So these big trucks would be carting those big round bales, and that throws all the cotton on the side of the road. Looks like wool, and inside those is cottonseed. Probably nearly 180, 185 centimetres tall, those round bales. Walking down the wharf at Echuca. Port, not the wharf, port apparently. Thought that's what you drank. Might get a couple of those wheels for my Ranger. Bad work, pure wood. Echuca was ideally located as a port, because from Echuca to Melbourne was the closest point. So they put a railway line between there and used the river to go. The Darling River, all the rivers to get the wool and everything from all their outlying pastoral settlements. I think in its day it had over 200 steam-driven paddle boats each week would come into the wharf. It was the second largest port in Victoria in the right up to the 1880s. Had a length of over 332 metres, the wharf. Like the Canberra's about ready to set off. Just reading about the Alexander. A chap and a crew of them dug it out, was sunk in the river. They dug it out and redid it, refloated it. No mean feat. You can see the different levels they had on the wharf. They were depending on what level of the river was, they could just use the different platforms, the height of the river. There's one thing I read, they had I think 6,000 bales of wool coming through in just a couple of days. Another 12,000 floating down the river. You can see them with a big winch there with the wool bale or goods there, lowering off the houseboats. Another barge. They've increased the width of it by putting those red gum planks across it. Pretty well built. Probably just recently had floodwaters up to here. All the paddle steamers lined up at the wharf. Tide's out a bit. Tipped it out, it's about 30 metres long. Would have taken a bit of loading. Would have taken a fair bit to move it here. Years ago, I used to press wool in these. You put the wool packs in both boxes. These boxes would tip out either side, and you'd stuff wool in both of them, and then you'd tip that over. And gradually you'd be pushing with this lever, pumping that lever down, and you'd be contracting that all the wool into those two boxes into one, and you gradually keep putting a pin in as you press it down. Hard work. You get about 200 kilograms in it.
Made in Geelong.
Good movie to watch if you want to get to know about the river and how it used to be run. Levels changed quite a bit. Chockers of houseboats on here. Well, thanks for watching. We had another enjoyable 2 weeks away. It's always good to catch new scenery or even old places we've been and read up more on the history. So thanks again for watching. We'll catch you next time.